says HD2 Waldorf.
Welcome to the Carmiece Radio Show. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to talk about bankruptcy today. As you know, Carmiece law firm focuses on family law and bankruptcy. And today I'm going to share some tips. So here we go.
News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management. Good morning and welcome to the Carmiece Grade Show. Get ready to get great information on knowing your rights on estate planning, bankruptcy, divorce, alimony, and much more. Now for today's show, here's attorney Carmiece Graves.
Welcome to the Carmiece Graves Radio Show. I am attorney CPA Carmiece T. Graves. I got the mic, I'm in the building, and today we're going to be talking about bankruptcy. And before I get into that, I just want to talk about mental health issues, actually. That's what's at the top of my heart, and it really dovetails into what I have been called to do. So it's interesting. My journey being an attorney, it kind of has unfolded in a really, like life does, inconspicuous way, where now I have been called to serve people when they are dealing with some of the most challenging issues that they may face in their life, whether it deals with family law issues, divorce, separation, custody, or if you really been dealing with a financial crisis. And at the bottom of all those, what I hope to gain and what we do gain from working together is relief, whether that is the fresh start relief of bankruptcy or getting you through a tough trial in life, whether it's relating to a death in the family or a separation. That's where I've been called to serve, and it's been an honor. And I last week had the opportunity to attend the opening ceremony for the Judge A.W. Center for Justice and Ethics. And the A.W. stands for Alexander Williams Jr., who is a retired federal judge. He is a professor at my alma mater, Howard University School of Law. I think he might have retired. I have to check and see. But for many, many years, him and Judge Woodall taught at Howard University, and really it was a great opportunity to really hear some of the great things that people are doing on the ground. And one of the issues that came up was mental health, and it really is something that we are focusing on as a country and need to focus on as a country as we become more polarized with the politics. Great effort coming out. I'm sure we've met a milestone. A lot of people had voter turnout. Everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people came out and had their voice heard, their votes counted. Some of that's still ongoing, and that's really a wonderful thing. Now, the thing is that I hope that we are striving to take care of ourselves, that we are heading in a direction of being more aware of what it takes. Now, my job is I help people solve problems. That's what I realized I am as an attorney. I help people solve their problems. And as a small firm attorney, I work directly with people on personal issues. When I worked at the law firm and I did corporate work, my clients were businesses, and I helped businesses meet their goals and complete transactions and solve the problems that they were endeavoring to encounter. So I was into M&A, and my clients were businesses. And now on the ground, I work with individuals one-on-one, and I'm dealing with your life crises. And I'm just here to say that life happens. It happens to everyone. To be a human being is the plight of overcoming obstacles, dealing with the trials, and sometimes I think as a nation, well, not sometimes, right now we're being forced to pay attention to the mental wear and tear. I don't know whether it's that we have communication now, that we're more aware of it, that we are more connected as a people, so we understand what others are going through, but we're understanding, and you can see from all that's going on with all these mass shootings, that we have to really pay attention to our mental health and our emotional health. Everybody, every day, has to really pay attention, because to be in this world is to deal with obstacles and to have an outlet, to have a regimen that allows you to deal and overcome your life trials is the triumph of the human spirit. It's what we're here to learn how to do. So the obstacles and the trials are there for us to learn how, as a human being, we can really draw on our inner powers, our innate goodness, our endowed spirit, to overcome situations. And many times you need help to do that. You need your communities, whether it's your gym. For me, one of them, I talk all the time that I'm a Buddhist. I've been chanting for 18 years. My African dance community, Conqueron, means the world to me, because this is a part of my daily regimen to take care of my mental and emotional health, to overcome life's trials and tribulations. And when you are encountering one of these situations that involves the law, and it's particularly in an area that I have expertise, I hope that you'll reach out and get the help that you need. So whether that's dealing with, a custody matter, relating to kids, it's very personal, but parents sometimes don't co-parent well, and they need a third party, which would be the court, and advocates to help them get through that situation. I hope, and I know at the base of it all, with us taking care of our emotional well-being, our mental well-being, we will be able to achieve whatever goals we're setting out to achieve. At the bottom of it is the money, it's the love, it's the relationship, it's the peace of mind, it's the joy, it's the happiness. All of that stems from taking care of ourselves emotionally. And my view of it is, I'm a lawyer, so I'm not a psychologist or a therapist, but I deal with people dealing with some real trying and challenging emotional situations, and I'm listening to what's going on in the world that I know personally, hand in hand, how much people sometimes are under stress. I understand what it is to, be facing a foreclosure, to be dealing with an unwanted separation or divorce. I know the first things we talk about when you come to my office and we sit down is emotionally, what is the game plan? Legally, I can roll out the plan, but emotionally, I also give you homework to figure out what are you going to do to get yourself through it, because at the end of the day, I care about the human being that's in front of me, and it really means a lot, and it happens to everyone. Especially when I'm dealing with family issues, I have not come across a group that deals with it more than the other. It just depends on the demographic that I'm in, that really paints the picture of who my clients are. But in terms of dealing with matters of the heart, everyone's going to deal with those. Sometimes I never want you to have to need my services. I want your marriages and relationships to be healthy and go forth, but life happens, and sometimes we're growing and we're expanding, and you need help, and that's where the Carmiece Graves Law Firm is available to lend that assistance. So one of the things that I'm dealing with in my practice is helping people save their homes from foreclosure. And that means a lot to me. I am so proud to do that work, because I see who these folks are. They look like me. They're around my age, young married couples trying to make things work, trying to do the right thing, coming together in partnership to raise their family, and needing help, and wisely saying, I know that I have the resources to manage this asset, my home, but I need some help. The lenders, the creditors aren't giving me a helping hand, and I deserve it. And you deserve the relief, you deserve the support, and if creditors are not doing what they should be doing to help you, bankruptcy is a way. It's definitely a preferred way for you to be able to get the loan mod, to get the relief that you need. But sometimes I don't know why, all the reasons some of these loan servicers are not on the up and up, and they just want to take back property, and I'm finding that to be in communities where, there's, minorities primarily in those communities. I don't always want to go to the race card, but it is what it is, and I'm seeing what I'm seeing. So I really always want people to know that the option is available, and this is great. So let me tell you guys a little story about what's going on in one of my cases, because one of the things that I want to talk about is it can help save your home from foreclosure. But if you file Chapter 13, the beauty of it is it protects you through the term of that Chapter 13 plan from any creditor's shenanigans. And in this case that I entered into, a creditor was trying it. They really wanted to test the power of the bankruptcy protection, wanted to test this federal law to see if they just ignore it, act as if it doesn't exist, say, you know what, I'm not going to play ball with you all. I don't care if this home arrears was put into a Chapter 13 plan. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go ahead and not accept your money, bankruptcy trustee. I'm not going to accept any money from the creditor all of a sudden. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start sending notices of foreclosure. Now, you can imagine one of the listeners, one of the fine folks tuned into the Carmiece Graves radio show, called me. Hold on, I'm going to clear this. Called me up and said, hey, I got this situation. My home is was part of a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. We cut a deal. We put the arrears in the plan, and I've been paying according to the plan, and all of a sudden, I'm receiving notices of foreclosure. And I'm like, that's odd. And I said, well, I have to look into this. There must be a miscommunication. Well, y'all, the case is not said and done. But here's where we are right now, and this is getting good. I'm up here eating popcorn like, oh, what? I'm like I contacted the creditor. Excuse me, have you guys bumped your head? Is there a miscommunication? Do you not understand that this lady's house is protected by the automatic stay in place afforded her through her Chapter 13 filing, and this plan is still effective? The plan had, not been, her case had not been dismissed. I just didn't understand what the miscommunication was. Well, that was on our side. So that's what the debtor was experiencing. And of course, she'd gone through a lot of headache and heartache and paid money and just doesn't understand what the breakdown is. Why are these people still trying to sell my house after filing Chapter 13 bankruptcy? So now, as I said, this is an ongoing matter. Of course, I'm not going to tell you who it is. I can keep that anonymous. But the key lesson here is that when you have a home and you're dealing with some of these loan service providers that aren't on the up and up, the protection of Chapter 13 filing is great. It's wonderful. It's something that you can rely on that now is there to protect you as a debtor. So where we are right now is clearly, I guess, they weren't only not accepting payments from my client because she was still paying her mortgage directly. That's an option of the plan. Not everything has to be, paid through the trustee. You can still, design a plan where you pay some of your creditors directly. And she had just put the arrears because she needed to catch up. Life had happened. So part of the plan, amongst the many other factors of the plan, was that she was going to repay the arrears for her property through the plan. And all of a sudden, creditor says, I'm not accepting the money. Well, on the other hand, I just found out that they weren't accepting payments from the trustee either. Ooh. Now they just jumped all bad with it. Like, forget you trustee, forget you bankruptcy. We're going to do what we want to do. Wow. Next step. Now, what does the trustee do? I send my notice like, we're about to go to court and file and say that you're in violation of the automatic stay. You're going to have to answer to the courts about this. That's the protection that the debtor has. The debtor has an outlet. The debtor has actions that they can say, hey, they're not playing fair by the rules. Now, the trustee has great powers and recently has filed a motion to say, you know what, I'm not even playing around with y'all. This is how this is supposed to go. You're supposed to pay according to the plan or else. And we're going to have to take, I hate to be like TVs. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. But you guys are going to have to stay tuned. I will be right back to kind of tell you where we are in this case so you can get a sense of the great power that can protect your assets from foreclosure when we get back. So tune in. We're going to give a quick update for traffic and weather, and I'll be right back to tell you where we are in this case. It's so juicy. So stay tuned into the Carmiece Graves radio show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks. Facebook Live, thanks for tuning in. I see some of my colleagues have tuned in. Thank you so much. Here we are. We're just talking about how Chapter 13 can be a vehicle for you to save your home from foreclosure. Obviously, if this is something that you're contemplating as early as possible, I would advise you to get a consultation. You guys know how to reach me. You can call me 240-573-7153. Allowing yourself to have a plan, allowing yourself to know how you're going to get through this situation, and taking action is the best way to deal with life's problems. We're going to have to take the bull by the horns. We're going to have to look the demon in the face and say, hey, is there a way to get through this? Can bankruptcy be an option? And I just want to let you know that it is available. Debt negotiation is available. Short of filing bankruptcy, you call me early enough and we're not sitting, waiting. It's not hours before they're going to sell your house. We may have an opportunity to work with the creditor to get your debts back on track, whether those are with individual creditors or your lenders, and maybe we can come up with a plan that doesn't involve bankruptcy. But having the comfort to know that you may qualify for something that can get you out of the situation and get you back on track and relieve that stress. Because dealing with the possibility of losing your home is pretty stressful. So. Okay, welcome back to the Carmiece Graves radio show. I'm always chatting with Facebook land during the break. So one of the things, back to the story. I'm going to be fair. So here we go. So this is like a standoff that I had not experienced before, honestly, because usually once we set the plan, and if you're just tuning in, this is the Carmiece Graves radio show, and today we're talking about using bankruptcy as a tool to save your home from foreclosure. One of the things we're able to do is sit down. You have to call me to do a consultation, meet with me to sit down and figure out where are we in the process. Maybe there are other options that we can employ, like debt negotiation short of bankruptcy. Hopefully we can work on a plan, and if not, the Chapter 13 plan may be a tool that can help you. But here's one thing I would advise. Contact me sooner rather than later. Don't sit down on these loan mods for months and months and months. Don't let them jerk your chain where now the amount that you owe is beyond your reach. Put that money aside. Honestly, if we're not in that climate, you understand politically where we are. It's not the heyday where you can sit down and have your loans sit there for 2 and 3 years, because what's happening is they're selling the loans to loan service providers that don't want to work with you, and now the arrears are beyond your reach. So don't let your arrears get too high. Don't sit down in this loan mod circle forever. Get help. Having an attorney advocate on your behalf can help you get through the loan mod process. If we're at the 11th hour and you know that this is something that you can do, that your arrears are not beyond reach, call me. We can still work something out. We can file bankruptcy. A bare bones filing can be done at the last minute. I prefer not to. I like to have as much time as possible, but life is what it is, because I understand that when you're in an emotional situation, it freezes you. You know what I mean? It makes it something that you're not able to take action, and that's why you need to really reach out and call for help. Let someone know what's going on with you. If you guys are out there listening and you know what's going on with friends or family, pass my information along with them. Encourage them to pick up the phone and call, because when you're in the depths of emotional despair, taking action is difficult. So I just want to make sure that you know that this protection is there, this option is there, and the Carmiece Graves Law Firm is available to help you, and you call, you'll get me. So in this story, what has happened now, and woman has filed her Chapter 13. She's like 2 years into her plan. She's doing what she's supposed to be doing. And one little creditor, and I mean loan service provider, but they're a pretty big deal because they're the person who holds her mortgage, says, you know what, I'm not playing by this deal. I don't want to participate in the bankruptcy. Instead, I want to go ahead and sell the house. So they stop receiving money from the trustee. They stop taking money from the debtor and start sending her notices that they're just going to go ahead and, move forward with foreclosure. And I'm looking at this like, you think so? Okay, let's see. All right, let's see how this is going to go. So I make my move. She gets me. I make my move. I send my notice. Like, look, stand down. I'm not sure if you were confused, but I'm making a good faith effort to let you know that the Chapter 13 is in effect. Her asset is protected, and any actions you have to take, you need to take it within this bankruptcy. You're going to have to ask permission from the trustee to do anything related to this house. If you have a cause that you feel that justifies you not being confined or constrained by the automatic stay, file and take the proper actions to do so, and we will deal with it accordingly. But you, this one-on-one, just sending notices to sell this lady's house, you're out of order. So apparently, where I left it was they were trying to trustee too. Trustees trying to do the trustee's job. Pay, get the money from the client, distribute it according to the plan, and I guess they were sending the money back. Well, what happens next is now the trustee has filed a motion saying, you know what, I'm going to disallow their claim. Matter of fact, y'all think I'm playing with y'all. You don't understand. It's like the trustee went so hard. When I saw the motion, I was like, oh, the motion was like this motion to disallow the creditor's claim for purposes of distributing the plan. And you got 30 days to respond and tell the court why your claim should not be disallowed. Let me break down what that means where we are. And I'm sure that something's going to work out. I'm sure they're going to come to their senses, because right now the trustee's saying, you know what? Forget your claim for arrears. We might just toss that out. We might just say that's discharged wholly. You know what I mean? Dismissed, not discharged, dismissed. We're going to dismiss your claim. We're not going to allow your claim to be paid because you're holding up everybody else from getting their money accordingly. And I'm not here playing around with you, creditor. I'm the trustee, meaning that if I go ahead and ask this court to say, you know what, we're not dealing with this creditor, they're not going to get any money, and we're just going to keep it moving. What that means is this court, the trustees has invoked its power through this court to say, we are running the show around here, and everybody's going to play by these rules, or you know what, you're not going to get paid. And if they try to go to state court, because you say, well, Carmiece, so what if they just go to state court to say, I'm going to, sell the house? We're going to file a motion with that court. We're going to file a motion with that court to let them know, hey, if they didn't tell you, this asset is protected under the bankruptcy laws. A Chapter 13 is in place, and the state court will be like this. Nah, we're not selling anything over here. They will pick up that, look at it. Nope, sorry, can't do anything with you. I don't have jurisdiction. I don't have the power. I don't have the authority to sell that house. I can't do it. It's not going to happen. Not on these court steps. It's not going to happen. So everyone will say no. In concert, we're all going to say, no, okay? You can't take the action that you're trying to take. And that's one of the things that the great protections of bankruptcy affords the little guy sometimes. When the banks are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're not playing by the rules, they want to give us, a hard time for one reason or another, we finally have a voice to say, not here and not today, not my house, no. See, I already cut the deal. And as long as I'm doing my part, as long as I'm paying according to the terms of this Chapter 13 and I'm doing my part, the bankruptcy laws got me. They have my back, and we cut the deal, and you're going to play by it. Or, you know what? Just don't get paid. It's okay with us. Just don't get paid. But it doesn't mean that you get to go to another court and sell this woman's house. And the comfort of that was really reassuring to me. And I wanted to share that story with you because, you filed Chapter 13, you wonder what happens thereafter. The protection continues, okay? And when you're done, the deal is whatever debts are supposed to be paid would have been paid, and who came up short. It's a clean slate, but you do not get to go and have other judicial actions on anything contained in this plan. So just knowing that that's available, and I present my bankruptcy services as a grace. You know, if you need it, life happens. I know it's hard. Anybody trying to fool anybody and saying they're just skipping along in life, not so. Don't believe it. It's a part of being a human being. If you don't have money problems, maybe it's something with health or relationships, because we are designed as human beings to come here to figure out how we can draw on human spirit to overcome our trials and our tribulations. And how that looks on a day-to-day basis is having faith, staying positive, and being open to possibility, open to solutions. And sometimes, you know, whether it be bankruptcy for your business or for yourself, or getting the help and services that you need, usually that's how it looks. And it could be picking up the phone when a friend's calling and say, hey, I was listening to this attorney on the phone, and it seems like maybe I know you're going through some tough times. Why don't you give her a call and see whether this is something that can help you? It may be an option and it may not, but at least you will explore every option that you can to give yourself the relief, because I think part and parcel, it's tough out there. You know what I mean? Life is a challenge for everyone, and we really, again, at the top of the show, I was talking about mental health issues. And I think mental health issues, in my layperson's analysis of it, is when you don't take care of your mental health on a daily basis. You don't take care of your emotional well-being. You don't have a regimen, and you are in intoxicating environments, stresses of life with no outlets, no positive outlets, whether that's taking a walk, whether that's doing yoga, whether that's going to the gym, whether it's playing basketball, running, whatever you do. This human being, because it is, you know, human flesh, it needs an outlet. It needs to be taken care of. You got to watch what you're eating. You got to watch what you're mentally feeding yourself. You know, they're doing studies to figure out whether these, you know, online gaming are, you know, breeding these domestic terrorists that we're dealing with in our country. You know, we got to pay attention to our loved ones. We got to check on them, make sure that they're doing okay, and ask people. And you know, watch what you're feeding yourself emotionally. I'm really guarded about it. Sometimes I don't know what the local news said. Sometimes I tune in, sometimes I don't. I really want to know what the weather says on a day-to-day basis, but the whole, you know, trauma report each day, I can't digest it. I need to make sure that I'm taking care of my emotional well-being so that I'm available to take care of your problems. So, you know, I've got to be on my regimen super hard, because I have to, you know, have the emotional space and mental capacity to take on your problems. And I want my clients, at the end of the day, I want us to resolve the legal issue, but I want you to be better than the way I found you emotionally. You know, that is my, you know, we're coming into the holiday season, but when I studied Kwanzaa, my principle is creativity. You know, that one in the definition was, or is, to leave something better than you found it. That is the definition of creativity. And it really stuck with me, because they said, take one principle and live it. And I've been living that one for a long time, and it helps me. In any place that I go, my goal is to leave it better than I found it, add some value. And I hope that if you need bankruptcy or you need some relief regarding a family situation, that I can leave you in a better situation than I found you, by getting you through the legal system, by guiding you, coming up with a legal strategy that works, making sure that if there's something that we can do, just to say resolving taxes, we can probably resolve those without filing bankruptcy if you call me in time. So that's my show for today. They're playing the good music. So thank you so much for tuning into the Carmiece Grace Radio Show. If you need me, you guys reach out, call me, share the video. You can contact me at 240-573-7153. Talk to you guys next week. Thanks so much for tuning in.
You've been listening to the Carmiece Graves Show with attorney Carmiece Graves. To reach Attorney Graves, please call 240-573-7153.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
240-573-7153. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday at 10 a.m. right here on WOL 1450 AM, where information is power.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Have a good week.